everyone. I'm Dan Bosse, president of Ag Resource Company, joined by Dr. Bill Tierney, our director of research, and we're here to talk a little bit about world wheat. Now, the world wheat growing season across the Northern Hemisphere is just starting. We're getting crop condition ratings in the United States, but we're also looking at crops around the world, Bill. What do you think for the upcoming year, and what is your research showing you?
Well, we'll start off with the most obvious thing is that U.S. wheat seeds in the United States, according to the Prospective Planning's report, are the lowest in over 100 years. That news, if I told you that 25 years ago, would be good for at least a 20-30% rally in the market. But today we're actually going down. And the reason, Dan, is, as you well know, it's not U.S. wheat supply and demand that has the strongest impact on wheat prices. It's Black Sea supply and demand. And you were at a Miller's conference in Istanbul just a couple of weeks ago, and there were a number of people from Black Sea exporters. What did you find out at the conference?
Yeah, the conference was actually in Anatolia, but still, and you think of it, the conference, everybody was talking that the Black Sea crops were coming, and the Russians in particular were coming out of dormancy in relatively good shape. Mm-hmm. But we know that as we think backwards in time, that the Russians maybe have 4 or 5 or 6 crops above trend. This will be the 5th now. Mm-hmm. And that historically, because their weather patterns are so erratic that you just don't know. And so we've seen many crops going back to 2011 in which heat and dryness have occurred in May and June that just completely changed the world wheat market. Now, what will be interesting, and to me anyway, is if you have a problem in the Black Sea, which is one of the concerns anyway from that conference, with U.S. wheat seedings at a 100-year low, that could really cause us a jolt to the marketplace with funds sitting at a near record short position.
It should. I'm a little bit concerned about the size of U.S. ending stocks and the size of global ending stocks. There's also the political component. As you mentioned, the weather is somewhat erratic for growing wheat in the former Soviet Union. And we've seen in past years, in 2010, with domestic wheat prices spiking, Vladimir Putin slapped a 100% embargo. No wheat exports were permitted. And then in 2014, when prices went even higher, everyone was expecting there to be an imposition of an embargo or some kind of export tax, but it didn't happen. So we've got that added uncertainty of geopolitical risk on top of weather risk, but we also have record-ending stocks. So it's a very complex situation. I think without a major weather problem in the Black Sea or North America, I think we're likely to see wheat prices set new lows, and we've already seen 10-year lows. Perhaps without a weather problem, we'll be looking at 11 or 12-year lows.
I don't disagree, Bill. It all comes what the growing season will hold.
Yeah.
But I think you need to remember, and we're debating a little bit here right now, that when you have wheat at decade lows, to get a 25% rally, which is just $1 a bushel,
yes,
is not uncharacteristic in a wheat market that streaks when something happens globally.
I've learned that lesson in the last 5 years. You can get a very healthy rally in the wheat market with no perceptible change. It just happens. And I know your view is that the funds changing their position triggers it. I don't know what triggers it, but I've certainly seen enough of that happen the last 5 years to totally agree with you. You could get a rally 50 cents to $1 without, in my understanding, any real change in the market.
Well, wheat has grown in so many areas around the world that somewhere, somehow, somebody usually has a talking point, if you will. So,
yes.
Again, our view here at Ag Resource is that if you have weather-related rallies this year, whether it's in corn, soybeans, or wheat, they do offer selling opportunities. So when you think about the upcoming growing season, look at those rallies in terms of sales. I'm Dan Bosse, joined by Dr. Bill Tierney. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back again.